this because it's okay. I just wanted to get it going because every week I forget to get it going. I'm sorry. What was your question, Linda?
I said, like, you know how like we have all the readings and everything. Are we just going to have access to them after a challenge, or does that go away?
I think that's going to go away because once the challenge is done, the challenge site will come down for our access.
Okay, well, we can print them, so I'll do that.
And you know what? I have almost all of them. I've printed I've saved all of those readings only because I know that I benefited from them as much as, you know, my clients and the other challengers have. So I really love the whole notion of keeping those. And also I shared with you last week about there's a file there that you can get to all the exercise videos. So so if you can go on and save.
That's really good, by the way.
Yeah, I look for that.
You didn't see it?
Well, I watch it every day.
Yeah, but there's a file, Stan, with a link in the file. Let me tell you where it is. On the team page, on the right side, it's in the box where the all the like the 1,300 calorie plan is and the 1,600. And if you look down, you'll see exercise videos. And if you open that, there's a link in there to YouTube, and it has all those exercise videos in it.
Okay.
So you don't have to, you know, I just saved the link. The recipes, I did the same thing with the recipes. I think I saved them individually, but I'm not.
Are they like the Asian ones, like it says Asian coleslaw or something, those recipes? Okay, I thought it was the recipes that everybody was sharing at first.
No, those are recipes that the challenge has, you know, put up. So you're good.
Is that Linda or Nancy?
That was Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Stan. I said hi to you when you came on. Pay attention, Stan.
Okay, so Nancy, last week when we were finishing up, you mentioned that you would like to talk a little bit about transition. So I thought that this week we could talk a little bit about that, since we are clearly at the very tippity top of the challenge, and we'll be moving to you know, finish up over the next couple of days. You have until Thursday to weigh in. Or way out, they say, yeah. So I have some information about transition tonight. You want to hear some of that? You want to talk about a little bit of that? Okay.
That sounds good.
Well, the first thing that I wanted to share with you all, and I think I might have done this with you a little bit early on. If you find the number that you want to maintain, in other words, if you're happy at the weight you are right now, you take that number. You should probably be writing this down just so you remember. You should take that number that's on the scale, the one that you love, the one that you've fallen in love with over the last 6 weeks, and multiply that number by 11. Now, what that is, 11 is a number, it's the metric that we use to determine, you know, how many calories to maintain how much weight. And the very convoluted, it's only convoluted because I'm so bad at numbers, but if you have Dr. A's Habits of Health, which I think a couple of you do, there's a whole chapter that talks about, you know, the whole, it has the whole formula in it. But suffice it to say, for our purposes of our conversation, timesing your desired weight by 11 will give you the number of calories per day that you need to take in order to maintain that number.
Does it change if you exercise a lot?
No, well, there are variables, yeah, because if you, for example, if you're, well, let's pick a number. Say we're talking about 150 pounds, right? So 150 pounds times 11, oh, brother. Somebody want to do that quickly? 150 times 11?
That's 1,650.
Yeah.
Okay. So So in order to maintain 150 pounds, you would have to take in 1,650 calories. That's just your intake of energy. Now, if you're expending more energy than that, then you would add calories in accordingly. The formula that it's called your basal metabolic rate, you times that by your total energy expenditure. That's what I mean. It gets like a little bit involved with the math, but I will send you all of that information if you so desire, and you can actually sit down and figure out. It will tell you. You can do the calculation that takes into consideration if you have a sedentary lifestyle, if you're lightly active, you know what I mean? If you do heavy exercise, it will take all of that into consideration and give you the calorie number. The one, when you times the number on the scale by 11, that's just flat out how many calories to maintain. In this case, it was 150 pounds. To maintain 150 pounds, someone should eat 650 calories. So I know it's clear as mud, right? But I will send you that it's a whole page full, and it even gives you some examples of how to actually do the calculation. So I know that some of you are very interested in that. And the information that I'm sharing with you tonight comes from this book. It's called The Maintenance Guide, and it's from Take Shape for Life, and it really helps people that have lost a lot of weight to maintain that weight. And first of all, let me just say this before we talk about this, like in hopeful terms. Everybody in the world that has a weight issue, because if we didn't have an issue, we would not be in this conversation together, that's for sure. But everybody's issue is different, and there's never any judgment about somebody whose weight fluctuates. If you go up a little, some people, believe it or not, go down too far. I see that very rarely, quite frankly. But if your weight fluctuates, you know, there's no judgment there. And I want to be real clear with y'all about that, because that sometimes is the one thing that knocks people for a loop, and they say to themselves, okay, I've really screwed this up now, what's the point? So we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of our conversation tonight, but I just did want to just quickly mention that. So,
Carol, can I ask you a quick question? And
Sure.
since we're like in that circle
sure.
right now.
Sure.
How do you know what? I mean, you're saying like what would my weight want to be, but how would I know what my weight actually should be for my height, whatever, you know, where I wouldn't go too far?
Shut up.
Okay, hang on a second.
We lost Stan? Oh, okay.
I was going to say, you take a BMI analysis. That's not what it should be.
This is exactly what he just said. It's a BMI chart. So let me just, okay.
I'm sorry, like it just came out spontaneously.
No, that's okay. That's fine. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's why I'm glad you said it, because I don't know how to figure out what is my weight that I should be.
I can also
Well, it's like this, Linda. It's real simple. It's for a laugh. You laugh. I look at you, Linda, you look great. No matter what the weight is, that's what you need to be. I would tell you the truth.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Or I would say nothing. I was trying to make people laugh, that's all.
You're making her blush. She's blushing all over.
I need to shut up.
I'm pink all the time on this thing. But go ahead.
Here, let me just give you I'll send you a BMI chart for sure. It's an attachment to your email. And what you do is, I just pulled this one out of I keep it inside my cabinet, because I refer to it so often. It's a little bit rumpled, but here's the height. Here's your height. You'll see the height down on one side, right?
Okay.
And then as you look across, you'll find your height, and you'll go across, and you'll pick the number of your weight. Now, if you want, does anybody want to have full disclosure? And do you want me to tell you what the BMI chart says for you specifically right now, or would you rather just wait?
I don't care.
Okay. So how tall are you, Linda?
5'7".
Okay, you're 5'7". Put my cheaters on here. You're 5'7", and what does the scale say right now today?
I'm over.
You
Okay,
can
take the
say it.
next contestant.
That's what I'm saying. This is full disclosure.
I don't want Stan to know how much I weigh. He just said I look good.
Oh,
You still look beautiful to me.
yeah.
The scale today said, I think it was, Stan, hold your ears, 160.6.
Oh, you're enormous.
I know.
Okay, now let me just show you. See, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a BMI chart. It's divided up into sections, and the colored sections mean something in terms of your risk for disease. So happily, Linda, you are right here. You are just in the yellow, close
And
to
what's that
green.
mean?
See that? It means that you are, you're not in the green, which is the really, really place that you want to be.
Okay.
That's the goal. But you're only like a couple pounds away. The box next to that says 159. So,
Oh, I did want to be under 160. I said,
so anything under 159 puts you in the green, and I'll read to you what the green is. The green
Okay.
is the BMI below 25. That's what the green section. It says a healthy weight. You're a candidate for the B-Slim lifestyle, which is a transition and maintenance lifestyle for optimal health. So that's where we all want to be. We want to have a BMI of 25 or less. Now
I see there's a lot of green bars there, so a lot of green spaces. What does the chart say would be my optimal health? I mean, was that going to tell me, like, that might be a good weight, but what's the way I would really strive?
Anywhere in the green is good for you. Do you understand?
Okay.
Anywhere in that green section is a BMI of under 25. Once you get under 25, that's as optimal as you can get. Can you go lower? Yes. Will that
What's
be
the lowest?
optimal?
What's the lowest?
You went across. What's the lowest?
Okay, for 5'7", the lowest is 123.
Oh,
No, see, that's what I'm saying. If I went 123, I probably look like one of the wrinkles.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's like an Olympic athlete. A 5'7" person with the BMI of 19 at 123 pounds. That's an Olympic athlete. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So there's a range for all of these categories, because we can be at the very high end or at the very low end. But if you're in that range, the notion is to move a little closer to the green.
Okay, that's good.
You see what I'm saying? And I'll say this because I can attach this to an email and send it to all of you, so you can all look at what it says. The whole thing, people get kind of freaked out when they see the BMI chart, because they're like, oh my goodness, I could never weigh that much. I would look horrible, just like you said. And that's the whole idea of it. Especially when you're starting a journey. The BMI chart,
I think it's in that book,
Carol. I'm sorry?
I think that chart is in the book. The book you gave us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I think it has. Yeah.
I've read that so many times too.
It's all over the place. It is all over the place.
All right, I'll check the book.
Yeah, it is in there. But I'll send you this one's a little bit easier because it's color coded. But I forget what I was saying. But anyway, the whole idea is to just move as close to the green as you can. But if it's not, it has to take into like this BMI chart does not take into consideration the difference between somebody who's 60 years old and somebody who's 25. It doesn't take into consideration somebody that's got an arthritic spine and someone who's an Olympic athlete. You know what I mean? So you have to have you have to use a little common sense yourself in picking where you want to be, and anything that is moving toward the green is a good number. Anything that's moving away from it,
you got to be careful with that, because you have muscle if you have a lot of muscle, it'll weigh a whole lot more.
Well, it'll knock the scale right off. It's a general suggestion, Stan, the BMI chart. It's a suggestion. It's not, dyed in the wool or granite. So people just have to keep that in mind. Okay, so back to maintenance. here's what a little paragraph from the maintenance guide has to say. It says to put the brakes on your weight loss and keep yourself at your healthy weight, you need to understand how many calories you're expending each day, then match that with a meal plan that supplies that amount of calories, no more, no less. And then it goes into the whole explanation. It's called the basal metabolic rate. You calculate all of that by using the Mifflin-St. Gyr equation. So, I mean, really, I'll send that to you, and you can like check it out.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
To say. So as a practical matter, when you're trying to, put yourself you're trying to position yourself for success, you want to absolutely create a microenvironment of health for yourself. What does that mean? Well, it actually means that you can really set yourself up to succeed going forward. It has very much to do with what you end up having in your cart when you come to the cash register at the supermarket. Like, what choices are you making? And Linda, you just said you were with family and there was food and dessert and brownies and all. And I always tell people, there's brownies in your future, but while you're doing this, it's just for a season that you're doing this. You're setting this critical time aside to get to your goal. And once you get there, okay, then now the journey, the tactics change, the strategy changes once you're there. You don't just go back. I had a client one time who lost, 80 pounds, and she said to me, I'm taking you out for a spaghetti and meatball dinner. I said, oh, no, thank you. I have to. So I was like, okay, you didn't learn much. I mean, that's not the whole idea is to like change your relationship with
to live it, not to go back and say, well, I'm here, then I can come back again. You don't want to be a yo-yo, at all.
Well, that's exactly right. And yo-yoing is so much more detrimental to your health than just being 30 pounds overweight for 20 years. The up and down thing takes a terrible toll on your arteries and all that stuff. So being mindful when you're at the supermarket, being mindful of what's already in your cupboards, the things that you used to cook with, as opposed, heavy cream as opposed to maybe substituting skim milk or whatever. I mean, I don't do too much of that kind of stuff, but I know there's an awful lot of folks that are foodies that change these recipes and make them healthy, and they really do such a great job with them. I'm always impressed. And then it says that one of the other points in here is get rid of your trigger foods. Right now as we sit here, there's a bag of almonds in my freezer, and I use Metafast brownies, as like an evening kind of thing, and I put a few almonds in it and freeze it, and so I really love that. But I don't need a 2.5 pound bag of almonds sitting in my freezer because it's a terrible. It's like they're calling me. Carol, come and get us. Remember in City Slickers?
They're good for you.
Be coming. That's what so it's totally a trigger food for me. And I can't have peanut butter in my home. I can't have potato chips in my home. I just can't. If I have them, I'm dead. I'm just dead for that day, whatever.
I'm not coming to your house. I'm going to Linda's.
just knowing what those triggers are. Dr. Anderson, if you've read in his book in The Habits of Health, he talks about how if his daughters are home, this was when they were a little bit younger, if his daughters are home, they're not allowed to bake chocolate chip cookies while he's there. They can bake them when he's out of the house, but if he's in the house, they can't bake chocolate chip cookies because that's a terrible trigger for them. So it's just knowing what they are and recognizing that. This isn't rocket science, but I will tell you that tiny little changes over.
Linda, Carol, can I say good night?
Sure.
Because I have to go do something, but I didn't know it was going to take us long.
Okay, Stanley, you going to be at the meeting? You going to be there on the 30th?
At the same place, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thursday night at the same place. I might bring a friend with me.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Because I want her to see it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Cool. And hey, great hearing from all of you.
Yes, same to you, Stan. We'll see you on Thursday.
I'll see you Thursday. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Stan. Okay. So, and one of the other suggestions is to create a support system for yourself, whatever that means. For some of you, it's a spouse. For some of you, it could be just, taking a walk or calling a friend. And I will tell you right now that I am your in-house support system going
I
forward.
think our whole team supports each other. Now we have that site, we'll be fine.
Yeah, for as long as it takes. For as long as it takes.
Yeah.
And I love that you're excited about the group. I mean, the group is going to be fun. It's really just going to be an extension of what we've been doing over the last 6 weeks. So then the book, this little booklet's really great. I can also send you this as an email attachment if you want. It has a lot of suggestions for protein suggestions and carbohydrate suggestions.
Okay, yeah.
Things like that. So I can send that to you. And also portion sizes. And then it just talks about, there's a couple lists in here for, healthy fuelings, because once you are not in weight loss anymore, you're at your desired goal, whatever that is, you want to know what are the best things to eat to stay there. And maybe some of the choices that you made before were not so helpful, but there are some more helpful choices that you can incorporate into your daily routine that may be a real help to you going forward. There's another thing too I wanted to share with you about visualizing your portions, and you may have seen this before. We talk about the 9-inch plate that's discussed at length in the Habits of Health. Half the plate is vegetables, a quarter of the plate is protein, and a quarter of the plate is starch. So going forward as a maintenance strategy, that would work well. That would work well. So let me give you a little bit of, here's a fabulous, I think, notion of how to figure out 5, 6, and 7 ounces of protein. The palm of your hand, like just the very palm of your hand, is about 5 ounces. If you go up to the first knuckle, that's about 6 ounces. And then if you go up to this top knuckle, that's about 7 ounces. So can you see that, how it might work, in a pinch to just recognize portion sizes, especially if you're out somewhere, anyway. Did you ever go to a restaurant and they come out and there's so much food on the plate, you're like, like who eats this much chicken breast? I mean, it's piled up. It's crazy. So then this book is fabulous because it talks about safeguarding your success at the grocery store, like I was mentioning earlier, at a restaurant, and some of the advice from Super Losers, it's called. It's just some comments in here from people that have lost a whole lot of weight and managed to keep it off over time. Eat a regular breakfast every day, very important. I know that's a habit of health that some of you did not have before. But now you do, which is amazing. Monitor your weight loss, monitor your weight regularly, at least once a week. Don't be afraid, just bite the bullet and jump on the scale. Try to incorporate exercise into your daily routine if you can. Try to keep it at a regular pace, like maybe if you're doing 30 minutes, maybe increase it a little bit each day and work up to an hour. That sounds like a lot, especially for people that work, but anything that you do in the form of exercise each and every day is going to be advantageous to keeping the weight off. It talks about make sure that you're eating 5 to 6 small meals a day, because that will really keep your body, keep your blood sugar level. It will not cause those ups and downs that cause hunger and that feeling in the pit of your stomach. If you've ever gotten that, you feel like you haven't eaten in a month. That's really all your blood sugar working overtime there. So that's something just to really be mindful of. And something that I think we've talked about just a little bit over the course of the challenge is healthy sleep. First of all, before I get into that, does anybody have a question about anything we've talked about so far?
When they say 5 to 6 meals, You
Right.
don't mean like a meal. You mean like the snacks are considered meals too, right?
Well, we kind of talked about this last week. I call them fueling. I call them fuelings. I don't call them meals because people do get kind of confused about that because they're like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean meals? Like a whole meal? Well, no, it's 100 calories, 110 calories.
Right. Okay, right.
That's a meal. That's a fueling. It's actually a fueling. And
Times, 5 or 6 times a day.
5 or 6, every 3 hours is when your body really requires a little something. And that just, as I said earlier, keeps your blood sugar level and keeps you really from having any kind of crazy issues with hunger pains or that ravenous kind of hunger. If you've ever felt that, you come home and you haven't eaten and you're like, oh, I'm starving. You're ready to peel the wallpaper off or eat the Venetian blinds or whatever. So, okay, so moving on, and this is a topic I think that is so important for people that want to really maintain not just weight loss, but really good health, is the topic of sleep, because so many of us have trouble sleeping. I think the statistic is 50 to 70 million people in the U.S. Suffer from accumulative sleep loss. And so that's a lot of stress going on there. And so that's what the chapter is really teaching us. It's about what the lack of sleep can do to us. It produces all the wrong chemicals. It suppresses all the right chemicals in our body. It makes us produce the chemicals that make us overeat, and it reduces the chemicals that control our appetite. It keeps us good. Having sleep, believe it or not, helps us to control that craving for junk food and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's other factors too, but sleep has been shown now to be such a critical piece of that issue, getting a good night's sleep. And then, so this little book is so helpful. There's so much good stuff in it. What do I do if the weight starts to come back? That's like the worst part. So the first thing in big bold letters, it says, above all, don't panic, because this is something that you've gotten in control of before, and you can do it again because you've figured out the
You know what to do.
Exactly. You now have the skill. And it helps you to look at it and say, okay, how did I get from there to here now, just in this short window of time? Have I not been watching portions? Have I been eating something that's maybe, I tell people, it's not the cheeseburger that you had today that is in the long term is going to make a difference. It's the cheeseburger that we eat every day over the long term that in the end can be devastating. And so that's real, all it is. It's mindfulness. It's caring. It's really changing your relationship with food and remembering what you want. Always, always, always remembering what you want. Reviewing your condiments, reviewing where you were, what you had. Did you use too much salt? Is it water retention? All that kind of stuff. Did you do less exercise this time? And, I'm not a big proponent of exercising to lose weight. I think exercise is the single most incredibly wonderful thing you can do to maintain weight loss, really. Yeah. It is, that's the bomb for maintaining weight loss, because it adds lean muscle, and all of that is what helps to burn, calories and to keep you fit. And then too, sometimes medications cause a little bit of weight gain. So just keep that in mind. And that's something, please be seriously talking to your doctor about if that's an issue for your individual circumstances. And then, the third part of the trilogy that Take Shape for Life teaches people, we talk about the healthy body. We do talk about the business piece of Take Shape for Life, which is healthy finances. But the piece that I love the most is the healthy mind, and that's your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. And so it talks in this little booklet about slips and lapses and relapses and collapses. But all of those things have a fabulous, there's a solution to all of those things. And Janice knows what that is. Come on, Janice, tell us what it is, those three little words.
Those three little words?
Yeah.
Okay,
Come on, baby.
You're on the spot.
Be accountable.
Well, that's very good. But it's stop.
Challenge shoes.
There you go. Stop.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Okay.
So it's a useful technique. Stop challenge shoes for getting yourself, back on track once you've sort of slid off track. So I will send you, if you all want me to, send you this little maintenance book, I can attach it to an email and send it all out to you. I think I was like in Comcast hell all of last night and today. So I think I've been let out now we'll see what happens if everything's working fine. But I will absolutely send it to you and get it to you one way or another over the next couple of days.
Yeah.
And what happens Thursday?
Thursday night we're really calling it's a quarterly, it's really a gathering of people. A lot of the people in the room will be people who have done the challenge successfully. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fun night. Eric Stoffman is going to do a presentation of, just continuing to reach out for optimal health, which I think you'll really enjoy because, everything that we talk about is along those lines. Janice, I don't know if he's going to Zoom anybody in. If he does, I'll sure let you know. I mean, I don't know if you're available, but I don't know if he's going to do that. Every time he tries it, it's like turns into a circus. So,
What time is it? What time is it Eastern time? It's
6:45 Eastern. Yeah.
okay. So it'd be 3:45. That's what, Thursday or
Thursday? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be leaving town on Wednesday, so I don't think I'll be. I don't think I'll be available for it. But you're saying that he probably won't Zoom it anyway, or
I don't think he's planning to Zoom it. He didn't say that the last time I talked to him, but you never know. I mean, he could change his mind at the last minute because there might be people that really want to be there that can't physically come. But I think it'll be a really nice way to tie a bow on what we've done over the last 6 weeks. My time is really rapidly going, girls. It's
less than a minute.
I have 1 minute.
See you Thursday.
yeah.
So I'll see you Thursday. I'll be thrilled to see you all Thursday. Do you want to do another Zoom call next week? It's completely up to you, but only here's the best part. If you want to continue with the Zoom calls, now you can invite anybody, any of your friends or family or anybody that you think might want to jump on. So, this before
Maybe I don't want them in here.
It was kind of like limited to people like challenge, but we can have it going on now with absolutely anybody. So
Maybe we could Donna out here. Maybe try for Donna.
That would be so much fun. I would love that. This is going to shut off momentarily. It was
And
great.
she has a goal. Her son's getting married in March, so we need her to get here.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's great to be with y'all, and I can't even tell you how much fun it's been for me. It's been really a wonderful experience. I'm so thrilled